There are two sponsors for today's video. The first is Aqara, who have sent me this exceptionally sexy door lock. Aqara.
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 Aqara. And the reason I am featuring Aqara's door lock in today's video is because it is built like a brick house.
Dude, it's a beast. Check that out.
I have never seen a door lock that is quite this solidly built. And the second of today's two sponsors is Locket Insurance. And they feature today because they are an insurance startup that actually gives you money off your insurance premium simply for having smart home equipment in your home. That's not the main reason. I cannot express how important it is to stick around till the Locket section of this video. Did that work? Has that baited you in? Have you been baited by the master? Have you been masturbated? Apparently that joke has gotten old, says Darren from London. My heartfelt condolences go out to Darren of London, who apparently has had to suffer 8 seconds of comedy. I'm sorry, Darren. Darren, a man who undoubtedly can suck my balls. Suck my balls, Darren. Suck my balls, Darren. Suck my balls, Darren. Suck my balls. We'll be talking more about Locket later on in this video, and it is genuinely important. But this video primarily serves as a review of the Aqara A100 Zigbee door lock, and you'll understand why these two things are linked later on. This is a lock with Apple Homekit support. It can be unlocked using Siri and Google Home, as demonstrated most irresponsibly by this young man who will apparently just let anyone into his house. Are you seriously just letting me in without checking who I am first? Get down on the ground now.
Please just kill him! I only come here for pizza!
And it's got a massive 1.5 year long battery life. It's got fingerprint access, it can be unlocked using the Aqara Home app, it has physical key backup, and both permanent and temporary passcodes. Question is it any good? Inside the box is a whole bunch of things, but most importantly, it has a C-grade cylinder lock, also known as a side column lock cylinder. These cylinders break on purpose if someone tries to force them open using the usual brute force burglary tools. The lock itself has heaven and earth hooks, which I had to Google. And I can tell you from experience that this lady's crochet channel will give you no indication as to what they are whatsoever. It turns out a heaven and earth hook is used for anti-theft doors, and there is conflicting advice out there as to whether you should actually install them because they are so secure that they slow down the emergency services. Aqara do, of course, understand this and have advised that if you would rather not use heaven and earth hooks, this lock will work without them. You'll just have to use an angle grinder to get them off. I'll get right on that. To be completely fair to Aqara, their step-by-step video is absolutely excellent. But if your DIY skills are anything like mine, you'll need to get a handyman like my annoyingly more rugged and handsome, less follically challenged brother to do it. The jerk. Please don't skip this sponsored section. I know I joke around on this channel a lot, but the cost of living crisis is no joke. I am actually genuinely concerned that people aren't going to be able to heat their homes and put food in their mouths. And if there's any way that I can save people money, I'm going to tell you about it. You will have seen me recently do some comedy bits for Locket to advertise their services. But until now, I'd never actually tested it out for myself to see how much I could personally save. And it's astronomical. By moving my insurance to Locket, I will save between £15 and £30 a month. That's hundreds of pounds a year. Because after I punched in the types of smart home equipment I have in my house, the end result was reduced by 12.7% just because I have those devices protecting my home. But more important than the small saving that I'm getting from having smart home equipment in my house is the saving that I'm getting from the fact that Locket are so competitively priced. The payments came out at £16.94 a month, which is way cheaper than my existing provider. As a test, I matched the limits and the cover options as closely as I could to my existing policy, and even with the much higher limits and additional cover options, the monthly payments were still way lower than what we were currently paying. There is one other reason that I am super excited about this policy. I've been struggling to get a straight answer from anywhere as to whether or not my house is still insured if I replace my front door lock with either a smart lock or a thumb turn lock. Locket have confirmed for me they will definitely honour the policy as long as my smart lock or thumb turn lock are 1, correctly installed, and 2, are working properly. And the final point of note, if you can save money and you don't want to wait until your current cover renews, Locket will cover any cancellation or admin fees from your existing provider in the equivalent of up to £250 of Amazon vouchers. Locket have confirmed to me that they will be happy to insure you if you choose to install the A100 Zigbee lock from Aqara, if you have installed it competently. Which I imagine looks a bit something like this. I'm now installing the shafts into the orifice.
Oh, yeah.
The shaft goes in to the orifice.
Oh, shaft me.
Shaft into orifice.
Shaft me good.
Nothing rude about that at all. And we're screwing.
Screw me.
We are screwing.
Screw me like that.
It is not sexual.
Just like that.
We are screwing.
Oh, yeah.
Hello! Yes, he's at it again, shafting and screwing this week. Yes, my wife heard. She was not bloody happy. Bloody disgusting.
Why do people keep sponsoring me? Why is Paul Hibbert in charge of any of this? This is just bad news. Bad idea. Oh, it's really hot. Why won't you squeeze together? Oh, yeah. Asshole. Oh.
Insurance invalidated. Insurance invalidated. Insurance.
Do you know how Philips Hue users are always boasting that it just works? They just work! And what they really mean is it eventually breaks. They just work though, don't they? And sometimes stops responding. They just work! Well, Aqara actually does just work. They just work! They just work! They just work! They just work! Adding users is entirely self-explanatory and enables you to add passcodes, fingerprints, and the separately sold NFC cards. From there, the software immediately recognizes whether the door is open,
How clever is that?
closed, or badly closed, because you're terrible at DIY.
Stop it. There is nothing wrong with my perfect install.
I am a massive fan of Aqara's ecosystem because these days it all works locally, which means that even if your internet connection goes down, all of your automations will continue to work. And these automations are the best I've seen on any door handle yet because of just how many different triggers they've put in. You remember my previous demonstration of their alert system? Well, instead of the ridiculous idea of turning a cube over to start the alert system monitoring for movement, you can actually press the away button on the back of this lock once you've left the house to set the alarm instead.
Away mode is on.
Which is just genius. I can also trigger different automations depending on whose thumbprint was used. This means I can tell the Aqara G3 camera to go into privacy mode, for example, when my thumbprint is scanned, and even get it to disable the alert system and play customized ringtones to welcome me and Nisha home individually.
Accessing library computer data.
The A100 Zigbee's third-party functionality is very Apple Homekit heavy, and the beautiful thing about this is you don't even need an Aqara hub to make this work, as it will pair directly to your Apple Homekit setup using Bluetooth. The A100 Zigbee lock has the ability to set temporary passcodes even if you're on the other side of the world. The A100 Pro lock looks exactly the same, but doesn't have that one piece of functionality. Everything else is identical. It won't bother most people, but it's worth mentioning because the Zigbee lock, not the Pro version that I have in my hands right now, isn't even for sale in the UK and the US, which means the one that you will get in your hands will be the Pro version that doesn't have that functionality. And now for the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room. It doesn't work with Amazon Alexa, which I think is a fairly huge mistake on Aqara's part, and I'm hoping it's something they will change. If they do change, I'm going to update the description to let you know. It also doesn't work with Home Assistant. At all. It does, of course, work really well with Apple Homekit, and if you want to get some more information on that, you should go and check out Simon from HomeKit News' video, because it's super informative and brilliant, just like everything Simon does. I'll leave a link to that in the description too. It also works, of course, with Google Home. Google Home, which is a big pile of butts.
Hey Google.
Navigate to Adam.
I don't know, but I found these results on search.
Why is she answering? Let's not go down that road again. We all know what road it takes you down. It takes you all the way to Ghana because it doesn't understand that Adam is a contact in my phone. And the final fairly major issue for anyone that lives in the UK and uses She That She Not Be Named is that Aqara won't let you actually install this device into the UK region section of their app. You have to install it as if you're a US customer or an other customer. If you put it to either the US or the other region, it'll work just fine, but it will, of course, then be completely separate to all of your other Aqara devices. And if you're thinking, well, I'll just move all of my Aqara devices into the US or other region, well, that's all well and good, but then they're no longer accessible to She That She Not Be Named. Bummer. This is the perfect door lock for HomeKit and Google users, and for anyone who values their security over the Amazon Alexa functionality. There is still plenty to love about this lock. I just wish it was properly available in the UK and had Amazon functionality. A massive thank you to Simon from HomeKit News for helping me figure this lock out. If you haven't checked his channel out before, I shall link it in the description. And also, equally as importantly, seriously, download the Locket app right now and just see how much money you could save. I seriously want to help you out with the current financial crisis, and I think this will be a huge difference maker in your monthly outgoings. There is, of course, also a link to the Zigbee A100 Pro version of this lock if you're interested in picking one up. In the meantime, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. That'll tell YouTube's algorithms it was a good video and more people should see it. If you want to see some more of this guy, hit that subscribe button and ding that bell. If you ding the bell, it lets YouTube know that you want to be notified when I upload videos. These incredible people here are my patrons from Patreon, and I know I say it every week, but without them, I would be working in a call center. I wouldn't be doing this for a living. If you want to be one of those incredible people, you can do that at either Patreon or buy me a one-off beer at PayPal, and either way, I will genuinely love you forever. These are my Facebooks and my Twitters and my Instagrams and my TikToks too. Come and hang out there and we can be best friends. See you next time. Who apparently has had to suffer a repeated 8 seconds of comedy.